Next day, after saving Vishwamitra's yajna and other sages from the atrocities of Subahu and Maricha, Rama along with Lakshmana went to Vishwamitra and other sages and respectfully said, O best among the sages, now that this area is freed from all the atrocities of the demons, please tell us if there is anything else we could do for you. After discussing with Vishwamitra, the sages replied thus, We are going to the city of Mithila to participate in a great yajna being conducted by the king Janaka. We request you both brothers also to accompany us. A great bow called Pinaka is there at Mithila. It was originally gifted by Lord Shiva to gods and later gifted by gods through Parashurama to the great king Devavrata who ruled Mithila long back. Being a very strong and sturdy bow, even gods cannot bend and use it, forget about humans. It has been under the custody of Mithila rulers since long time. They consider it as a great gift to Mithila and worship it regularly with flowers and sandalwood. You can have the fortune of seeing that great bow Pinaka if you come along with us. Hearing the story of the bow, Rama also became excited and agreed to go to Mithila along with the sages. They collected some requirements for the yajna to be conducted at Mithila and started their journey in the northeast direction towards Mithila. In modern day India, the majority of the Mithila region falls within the state of Bihar. Mithila is bounded in the north by the Himalayas and in the south, west, and east sides by the Ganges, Gandaki, and Mahananda rivers, respectively. It extends into the southeastern territory of Nepal. After traveling full day, they reached the banks of the river Sona. They stopped and made arrangements to rest there. While they were relaxing, Rama asked Vishwamitra to tell them the story of that place. Vishwamitra told the story thus. Long back there was a sage called Kusha who was the son of Lord Brahma himself. He had 4 mighty sons, namely Kusumba, Kushanabha, Asurta Rajasa, or he is also called Adhurta Rajasa, and Vasuvu through his wife, the princess of Vidarbha. He encouraged his 4 sons, who were very wise, virtuous, ambitious, and also valorous, to establish their kingdoms and be righteous kings. With this intention in mind, they built 4 great cities and made them their capitals. Kusumba built the city called Kaushambi. The virtuous souled Kushanabha built a city called Mahodaya on the banks of this Sona river. O Rama, noble-minded Asurta Rajasa built a city called Dharmaranya, and the king Vasuvu built a city in the name of Girivraja. Out of them, Kushanabha had 100 daughters from his wife, a divine Apsara called Gritachi. They grew up to be the most exceptionally beautiful girls. They used to play on these Sona river banks regularly. One day, the all-pervading god of wind, Vayudeva, saw them and was mesmerized by their beauty. He asked them to marry him and also said that if they marry him, he will make their beauty eternal like gods instead of being mortal human beings. The girls, who were very pious, felt insulted and told him that they would not select their husbands by themselves and it would be their father's prerogative to select suitable grooms for them. They would only marry him whom their father has selected and not otherwise. They further said that they could have cursed him, being the daughters of a great Rajarshi, for his indecent proposal, but pardoned him so as not to waste their ascetic energies earned by hard penance. Vayudeva, who was a very temperamental god, grew furious. With his divine powers, he entered their bodies in minuscule form and destroyed their beauty from inside, disfigured them and made them look horrendous. The girls ran to their father crying and humiliated with their ugly looks. Their father, looking at his dear daughters, was also horrified. But after knowing what happened, he appreciated them for the patience shown without cursing Vayudeva. He lauded them for the grace they showed in unison by pardoning the god of wind. After pacifying them, he started thinking about how to get them married off to an eligible person. Some time before that, a highly celibate sage called Chuli was doing a very strict penance to please gods. A Gandharva lady called Somada served him and assisted in his penance. After some time, Chuli was very pleased with her services and told her to ask for any boon she wished to have. She asked for a powerful son who is equal to Lord Brahma himself. He blessed her with a son born out of his mind with virtues as she requested, and he was called Brahmadatta. Later on, he became a king ruling from a city called Kampilya. Kushanaba felt that Brahmadatta would be a fit husband for his daughters and arranged to get them married to him. During the marriage ceremony, as soon as Brahmadatta touched the girls, they regained their original beautiful forms. Kushanaba and his daughters were very happy with the turn of events. The place where the daughters lived came to be known as Kanyakubjam or the present Kanauj, which is in Uttar Pradesh. After the marriage ceremony, Kushanaba left for his place. In the empty palace after his girls left, he was sad as he did not have a son. So he performed a Vedic ritual where his father Kusha appeared and blessed him with a highly virtuous son who would bring everlasting name and fame to their lineage. Likewise, Kushanaba had a son called Gadhi. Gadhi had a daughter and a son called Kaushik, as he was born in Kusha's dynasty. The daughter Satyavati was a very pious lady. She was married to sage Ruchika. She went to heaven with her body along with her husband. Later, she took the form of a great river called Kaushiki or Kushi and flowed from Himalayas. Vishwamitra further said that the son Kaushik is none other than himself and Satyavati is his sister. He loved his sister so much that he lives in Himalayas nearby to river Kaushiki. He ended the story there and all of them rested for the night. Next day morning, Vishwamitra got up early and woke up both Rama and Lakshmana. They started their journey, crossed river Shona, and by late afternoon reached the banks of the sacred river Ganges or Ganga. On seeing the river, everyone felt very happy and took a holy dip in her. Later, they offered prayers to the holy river and made arrangements to rest for the night. Again, the inquisitiveness of Rama made him ask Vishwamitra about the story of river Ganga. The long story of river Ganga kept them awake for most of the night. Let us know about the story of the origin, life events, and how river Ganga came down to the earth in the next episode. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu.